was Salaam, definitely part of the plan. Yo, Salaam, man. Boy, where do we start? I'm thinking 2015, September. That's when I actually flew out to Salaam. But that all came from me looking for jobs abroad. I was working in a retail shop at the time as a sales assistant, and I was like making that transition from like trying to keep away from the streets and just do something like legit and just get on my feet. And I was building myself up, but I was always longing for more, man. I'm always dreaming about something. I was looking out the window and wanting to travel and all these things there. And I started just looking for jobs online abroad, and I came across Restless Development ICS, and it was a voluntary company where you could basically go abroad for 12 weeks and work with young people and help them in certain areas of life. So I looked at it and I thought, you know what, this is something I want to do, man. Like, I did want to, like, I was trying to get into the youth work, support work side of things, but I'd always, like, any job I'd ever had was retail experience. So it was like, I hadn't got my foot in the door. And in my head, I had that vision, like, to say, like, if I'm going to do support work or youth work, I'm going to need to have, like, some experience. I'm going to need a driving license. And I started seeing what I wanted to get, like, them types of roles, and I was trying to get the pieces of the puzzle, you know what I mean? So it's like I actually applied for ICS in 2014, but like I said, I was trying to get my driving license, and I had this plan, like, I can't leave this job and then come back from volunteering to go and then get my license and then move forward. It was going to slow things down, and it had taken me like 2 years to get a job anyway at the time, and I just thought, I don't need no more setbacks now that I was like on the move. So I held off that year, and the next year I said to myself, if I pass my test, I'm going, like, there's no stopping me this time. So I passed my test and I applied again, and they accepted, and they says, you know, come to York, come meet the team. So I've gone to York now, gone to meet the team, and it was crazy because, like, we had icebreakers, we had like activities and like little team building exercises and things, and it really made us get to know each other. Like, in the evenings we'd go to the pub and we'd like have a drink and like would sit up and tell each other stories and stuff and just get to know each other properly. So it was nice. You gotta remember, we're gonna be there for like 12 weeks with each other. We're gonna have to turn to each other at times. Someone's probably gonna be sad, someone's probably gonna need to talk to someone. You need to know if you can like mingle with each other, you know what I mean? And we all got along fine, man. Was there for a couple nights, got to find out where you was flying to and who you was, like, what groups you would be in, who you're flying with. And it was good. Like, it kind of like just made you know you was ready, like, when you left there, okay, this is what I need to do, this is what I need to get done, this is what I need to pack. And just let you know about the area you was going to as well. So that was like, just to hear, like, you want to know what kind of place you're going to be staying in and what the people are like and is it safe, and you know what I mean. We found out everything, and we had to raise £800 for the project. So, you know, people was putting on like events, selling things. I was blessed, I can't lie. My family and friends, when I posted it up on social media, they just started throwing money at me, like, listen, I love what you're doing right now, hope it works out for you. And they just started like putting 20 quids here, 10 quids here, 50 quids here. Like, it just added up until I had the whole £800. And it's mad, you know, because it's like, as I was getting this £800 and as I'm out there shopping and, you know, getting my mosquito net and getting my insect repellent, and I got my vaccines, and while I'm going to get all these things, it's like I'm not registering that I'm actually going to Africa. You know what I mean? Like, I keep saying, yeah, like, I'm going to Africa, guys, and yeah, I'm going to be there soon, but it was actually getting closer and closer, and I feel like I didn't understand it until it was so close that it was real. Like, I'd handed in my notice, I was packing my suitcase bit by bit, you know what I mean? I was saying goodbye to family and friends, and I was like, raw, I'm actually going, like, and it was making me nervous now, and I can't lie, I had them little feelings inside, like, boy, I don't know if I want to do this no more. But Like, I just felt like I was meant to do this. God was telling me to go, and I got that far. People believed in me now. They donated to me. Get me, like, it was just like, let's go. So I remember, hugging my dad. My dad was the last person I seen in the UK. No, in Birmingham, should I say? Because I spent a couple nights in London before we actually flew to TZ. Because we had to fly from London. So I remember hugging my dad and jumping in the taxi and just cruising down the block, and it was just like, whoa, like, I ain't gonna be seeing this for a minute. And then I got to the airport, and I mean, not the airport, I got to the train station, sorry. And I remember sitting there, and I had like all my luggage and that, and I was just panicking, man. I'm waiting for this train to come, and it's like the minutes were just like hours, and I was just like panicking, like, come on, should I just go back home? Like, what would people say if I just went back home? I could give them the money back, it'll be fine. Like, all these crazy things went through my head, man. But I got on the train in a way, you know what I mean? I got on there and I was held my meds, man. But it was crazy. I had a couple of days to get my mind right in London before we flew, and then we went. Like, took us like 19 hours to get there. It was two planes though, so we had like an 8-hour flight. Then we had a break in Addis Ababa for about, I think it was like 6 hours if I'm right, and then we got on the other flight, and then we reached Africa, and like, it was there, Dar es Salaam, man. And I remember getting off the plane and walking through the airport like, bro, I thought the airport would be harder than this, like, you know what I mean? And it's not until they opened the door when we actually got through like all the checks and stuff, and I got out into that heat, and the heat just hit me so like powerfully. I was like, whoa, I'm not going to be able to wear much out here. Like, it's going to be minimal clothing, you can tell. Like, it's just hot. It was just so hot out there. And so from there now we went to Tamiga, which was where we were staying at the time. And we met like the in-country volunteers, because there was a set of UK volunteers, then there was in-country volunteers, and like they would help us to, you know, translate and things like that, and like just be safe in the community, and just, they had the same vision as us. They wanted to help people. So we met them. We'd go to the beach, would spend time and mingle and stuff. At Tamiga, we'd have like meetings where we would talk about like where we'd be staying with our host families, and just going forward what we'd be doing with the project, really. And it was crazy because like, even like staying with a host family, that was all new to me. Like, it weren't new to me, like, you gotta remember, I've lived in shared houses, so I've moved all over the place. I've always been kind of like on my own in a house somewhere, but it was like, I'm in a different country doing it now, you know what I mean? And it was just like, whoa, like, how's this gonna be? But it was great, man. Like, they showed so much love. They were so like generous and made time for you, and always made you feel at home. You didn't feel like you were just locked away in a room or anything. Like, their home was your home. I'll be sitting down in the living room chilling, like, you know what I mean, getting some chicken cooked and that. Like, yo, it was mad. But we went to our host families' homes, and we like settled in and stuff, and we started going into the office, started preparing our presentations to take to the schools and the colleges. And we'd spend time there, you know, get prepared, and would go. Sometimes you'd leave out, you know, you'd be traveling for like 2.5 hours. You could get somewhere, and the school would be like, no, we can't have you today, can you come tomorrow? And you're like, oh, we just got here, you know what I mean? Like, some days was frustrating like that, but then you'd have days where you get there and you actually deliver to a class. And like, for me, that was big, man, because I'd never really spoke to people like that, and I was getting out of my comfort zone. I had to learn new things. So standing up in front of people, I was always nervous. I was always like fretting, sweating, like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to stand up in front of people. Am I gonna mess up? Are they gonna laugh at me? Like, but they was always willing to learn. That's what I loved about Africa. They was just willing to learn. They appreciated you turning up. Thank you for coming here and telling us this, and thank you for flying over here and sharing this knowledge. Like, they was always appreciative like that, you know what I mean, which goes a long way. So we're putting on these presentations now, but we was going towards an event which was the careers fair. And basically the students that we met in the colleges and the universities, we started linking up with potential employers, you know what I mean? So then we had to get like a venue, we had to get transport for the students, We had to get refreshments. We had to get flyers made. Like everybody just started chipping in and doing bits, and we all come together to be able to pull off the careers fair, which was crazy because it was a big turnout. Like we had a lot of companies turn up, we had a lot of young people turn up, and you know when you're just kicking back and you're looking around and you're thinking like you can see your whole team and you can see all these young people and all these business people here, and you're thinking, yo, like we put this together, man. Like it was massive. Like trust me, it just really like opened my eyes, and it was just nice to do things like that, man. Because Africa was just like it was we was there for a reason, you know what I mean? So it wasn't all about just, okay, you're gonna go sightseeing and you're gonna go and see this today, or you're gonna go to the zoo today, or you're gonna visit this place. Like we was there to work, you know what I mean? But it wasn't all work and no play though, don't get it twisted. Like we still got to go out and venture out and things. And me especially, like they said you weren't meant to go out on your own. And I do understand that, safety reasons and things like that. But me, I just like to venture out, man. I like to just, you know, do my own little thing and that. I make my own little connections. So, you know, I made my own little connections out in the market. I used to just disappear. I'd finish work and they'd be like, Justin, where you going? I just put my sunglasses on. I'm like, listen, I'll be back soon, man. Jump in the Bajaji, put my earphones in. I'm gone, man. But everyone used to be like, yo, I want to come on one of your little missions, man. I was like, don't worry, man. I'm just touring Africa. I'm just making connections, you know what I mean? Like, I was living that lifestyle, man. It was nice, you know what I'm saying? And it was just, we went to so many different places and I experienced so many different things, and I learned so much, and I had time, like I said, like to build the logo. I'd sit with God's will. He was always drawing, like he was always drawing, always painting something. And when you see somebody just artistic in front of you all the time, you just get involved, you know what I mean? Like I might as well sit there, and I don't even draw. Like me, I write lyrics and things like that. I don't draw. I don't pick up a pencil really, unless I'm like at work now, you know what I mean? But in general, I don't pick up things and draw in my spare time. But in Africa, I'm drawing. I'm trying to design things, and like I just had that. I had that thought process, you know what I mean? So I finally made this logo, and it was something that I liked, you know what I mean? So I thought, obviously, we gotta do what we gotta do now. So like when I come back to the UK, I said that's what I'm gonna bring to life. Now that I've got that piece there, and I just put it in the book, and I just keep looking at it, and I just kept it in my brain. And says when I come back, Diverted Route, that's what we're bringing to the streets now. And just before I come home, I think it was like it was the Wednesday, because it was coming home on a Saturday, and I'd got a WhatsApp call that my dad had passed away. And it was crazy because like all the work had just finished, and like it was all crazy, you know what I mean? And I remember sitting there thinking, yo, I'm so far away, like I can't even be around my family right now, and I didn't know how I was gonna deal with it. But at the same time, it's like Africa saved me, and the people that I was around, and I couldn't lose my head like I feel like I could have if I was in the UK, you know what I mean? And it was just like I looked at everything differently, and I had to just hold my meds and just know that I had to come back in one piece, you know what I mean? Because like my family are gonna need me and things like that. So it's like we got ready to come home now. I spent some time out in Africa, and I appreciated the last bits of time I had there before I come back. But I came back with that determination, with like, okay, it's Diverted Route now. I've been away at such a significant time in my life that something like this happens. Like, of all times, you know what I mean? Like, it must mean something. I must mean that I was meant to have been there at that time. So whatever I was doing to be away, I better pursue that now. And it's Diverted Route, you know what I mean? So we've been pushing it now. Like in general, I flew away to like, I was taking the transition out of the streets, and I flew away, you know what I mean? And that alone was just like my break. And then I came back, and I could just see straight, and I was just focused, and it was just like everything was about changing their life and coming off a certain path and just moving forward, you know what I mean? So yeah, there's more episodes to come, man. Like, go and check out the Diverted Route Dar es Salaam video. If you go on YouTube and type in Dar es Salaam. You can find that there, and it's like footage that I've got from when I flew to Africa, and I'll just pull it into a music video and just told you about basically everything I'm telling you now, but in a song. So you can go and check that out. But yeah, man, TZ, Dar es Salaam. I would recommend it to anybody who wants to fly out there and to see something proper. But ICS and Restless development in general as well, like I would recommend that. Like that was very life changing for me. And honestly, if I could do it again, I'd go and do it again. You know what I mean? Like it was something that will stay with me forever. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.